Welcome, guys. Welcome to another video. Welcome to Martin Debs. What do we got here today? I'm going to show you guys about this NG budget. I call it NG because I'm using Angular to create this amazing application. It's a budget. It shows the month. This is September when I'm recording this video. Here you can add up the description of whatever, like if it's a paycheck, tips, you can add up the value and then you can add it. And then one side is income and the other one's expenses. So you can track how much money you're spending every month, which it comes very handy, especially nowadays that everything's went up on prices. So we can start here where it says paycheck. So we can do, let's just put a number there. Let's say you make $10,000 a month. So you can add it up over here, and then then you can have another one. For example, you can add up cell phone, which is cell phone cell phone bill. So you can add up, you can put down the minus because you're going to be paying. So we can add up the cell phone bill. If you have a family plan, let's put down $230. See, automatically subtracts that, and you can actually delete it. So well, let's add up another item here. Let's put down tips. So let's say you did a good job. Somebody decided to send you a tip, well, $200, So let's make sure we put it on a plus, and we go ahead and do so now see the price, it automatically updates here, the total. Let's say you need to pay let's say you need to pay your insurance, the insurance. So let's make sure we select minus, and we can add it here. Let's say your insurance, every 6 months here. Let's set up for the car. I pay $100. So you can do that. See, you can do that. So let's add up one more item. So let's go ahead and add up. Let me see what else. We got water. Yeah, let's go water bill. We got water bill. Let's put down water bill. Let's say it comes up to $180. You add it. See, it's nice and pretty color. You got two different colors. Let's say we add up one for electric bill. Electric bill, electrify. So let's say the electric bill comes up to 280. Let's go ahead and add it. See how the number automatically is going down. So then let's say you did a side job. Side job, let me see. A side job. So let's say you did a little small project, building whatever, an application, or maybe somebody call you to help them move or something, and they give you a little tip, or you charge them for that. You charge them for your time. You charge them $300. Or let's say somebody call you and reach you out and say, "Hey, I need for you to make me a website or an application like this," and you tell them, "Hey, it's going to cost you with everything, all the time that I'm going to put in. It's going to cost you $200. You're going to charge somebody $200 for maybe 2 hours of work." Uh, so they go ahead and oh wait, hold on. Put down website, and you charge somebody $200. See, so then you went up again so now see, so now let's say you want to delete an item, so you can delete it. See, you can actually delete it. Let's say you got it. See, you can actually delete it. So yeah, so this application I built it using Angular. So for this video, you guys are going to need you're going to need some basic knowledge of HTML, CSS, and some JavaScript, the whole thing. So let me go ahead and close out. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and don't forget to hit the bell notification. Make sure you leave a comment. If you have any questions, you feel free to DM me. All right. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell you what you guys gonna need. So I had downloaded Angular. I'm not using version 17. I'm using version 16, and I'll show you how to find out what version are you using. So also you need to have Node.js installed into your computer. So you have to, you're not actually going to be working that. You're going to use this so be able to download Angular into your computer. All right. So then you're going to need a editor to write the code. So the one I'm going to be using Visual Studio Code. So here you can download it. So I have all of that. So what I'm going to do here, I have selected, you're going to type in over here on the prompt here, you're going to type in CMD, and it's going to give you this It's going to give you this prompt here, and I already picked the location where I'm going to create my new project. So in order to find out what version you have, so you just type in, I think it's ng version like that. So let's see what happens. So yeah, this is going to allow you to find out what version of Angular you have. So currently in mine, I'm using 16.2.1. So see right there, 16.2. Okay. So that's the one I'm using. I'm not using version 17. So the project I'm doing it, I'm using version 16. So make sure you have that. All right. So then now that we know what we're going to be working, so I'm going to do ng new, and I'm going to call this one ng budget, just like that. So and then I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and while it's going to create the project and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video, and I'll be back. So well, before I go, let me go ahead. It's asking me, would you like to add up an Angular routing? Let's say yes, even though we're not going to be using routing, but maybe in the future we will. Let's just hit enter, and I'm going to use basic CSS. So this right here, I'm going to skip it. So I'll be back when the whole project is created. So let's. All right, guys. So now I return to the video. So here, see, I put it a little bit closer so you guys can see the application. I have it on max. I think it's about 200. Let's bring it down. Let's bring it down to. Let's bring it down to 100. Yeah. So in order to get the screen like that big, like that, you have to hit Control plus, like that. See. All right, so this is live, so you guys can check it out. Okay. So again, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you help out the channel. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share it, and don't forget to leave a comment if you find the video interesting. Uh, share share if you have any questions. Make sure you give me a feedback and let me know what you think. All right, so back to the project. Let's see if the project has built. Yeah, so it has built. So let me see. It says police global. Da, da, da. Oh, it's telling me if I want to go ahead and want to connect. Okay, so all right. So let me go ahead and do cd ng budget because I need to go to that folder. Okay, there it is. So then I'm going to go ahead and use VS Code to open it. So I'm going to go ahead and open it right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit enter. Looks like I have to reset my email on my VS Code. Okay, so I have opened it. So let's go ahead and let me go ahead and close this one up. And all right. Okay, so I have it open. All right, so I have it open right here. So this is what it comes up. All right, so then let's go ahead and open the terminal so we can start writing. Let me can open and we can do ng serve. So we're gonna do is Control Shift and the I forget what this one's called next to the one. So that will open the terminal to build up. So all this right here is just pretty. So that's framework. So you have a lot of commands. They can actually create components. You can install a bunch of frameworks. You can actually install Bootstrap if you want to. You can use Material for the CSS. There's different CSS framework, but mainly it's JavaScript. This thing was built in. Okay, so let me go ahead and hit ng serve to go ahead and build the application. So let me see that. And this one comes with, so let me go a little over it. So it's going to ask some question. I say yes. So while that's building up, so let me go over the application. I don't know if you ever work with Angular. I know there's a lot of videos in React, but this is Angular. So here's what it gives you. See already out of the box, it gives you the routing. You don't have React. So right here it gives you the routings. It gives you a folder for the like to put the images here. So that we're going to be doing that. And see, it gives you a main style CSS. So it's beautiful. So this here is going to be the main component, the add component TS. No, I'm sorry, that's the HTML. Or is that the CSS? Let me open this up real quick. Yeah, that's the HTML. This is the routing module, and this is the main module TS. This is where you're going to be, for example, every time you create a component, this is where it's going to be showing the routings. When you import like packages like Bootstrap or let's say you create services, all of that will be over here. Let's go over here where it says Angular JSON. This is for the Angular JSON, but there's another one which is over here. It's called package JSON. Here, it shows all the packages, dependencies that you're going to be installing. So let me go ahead and skip this real fast. Okay, so it finally built. So now we're gonna go ahead and open. We can hit Control and it says click, and that's gonna open. It says it's gonna open a local host 4200. So this is what it gives you here. Let's go ahead and close this application. So let's go ahead and clean this up so we can work in the Angular application. Let me go ahead and close all these tabs. Okay, let me go ahead and close all these tabs. Close save. Okay, so here, let's go ahead and get rid of all of that. Okay, cool. That looks beautiful. Let's go ahead and get rid of all the CSS. Okay, there's nothing there. What I'm going to do is I am going to let me go ahead and install put the CSS that I end up using, so that way you guys don't worry, I'll share the CSS with you guys so you guys can copy it. All right, guys. So I have copied all the CSS so that way we can kind of make it shorter. Okay, I got that. And also I created a folder where the image is here. I will go ahead and share that towards the end of the video where you guys can get it. And all right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and right now it of course is blank, it doesn't show anything. So then now I'm gonna go ahead and stop. In order to stop it, you want to hit Control C. Then I want to use I want to go ahead and create a component. So inside here I'm gonna use ng generate okay, so ng generate component, and this one is gonna be called budget. Uh just budget like that. And I want to go ahead and skip I'm going to go ahead and skip the testing, skip like that test. So it's going to create a component right here. It's going to appear magically once it creates it right here. Cool. That's that. All right. So then I want to go ahead and inject that, the one budget that I created, um, and budget like that, like that. So then if I hit ng serve, it is going to appear right there. Let me go back. Gonna take a bit. Go ahead and skip it. All right, cool. So we got it. So let me go ahead and go back to localhost 4200. See, it says budget works. All right, cool. So then we can actually work over here. We also got to create a service. So let's go ahead and create folder here inside not inside the source. I'm going to create it inside here. I'm going to create a folder. So I'm going to do it under underscore here, and I'm going to call it services like that. And let me go ahead and stop it again, the application. So then I'm going to do, hold on, let me see, CD, let me see, CD source like that. And it's going to be like this. So then now I'm inside the app. So then I'm going to do ng generate service. And this one, I'm going to call it, what did I call this one? I think I just called it budget. Yeah. So I'm going to call it budget. Let me make sure I spell it right. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit flat because I don't want to go ahead and create I don't want to go ahead and create a testing. Let me make sure. I think that's how it is. Did I create the uh, crap? I created on the wrong side. Okay, I didn't want that to happen. So let me go ahead and delete it again. You hit delete. Let's go ahead and delete this one. Okay, no, not that one. Let me go ahead and delete this one. Go ahead and delete that one. All right. So then I was supposed to go on. I was supposed to go underneath the where it says services like that. So then I'm going to do ng generate services, and this is going to be it's going to be called budget. And then let's go ahead and skip the testing test like that. So let's go ahead and see if it works. So okay. It's called test ng generate service. So I'm going to do that one. Yeah, see, I was missing that little S at the end. So that made a big difference. I guess the CLI didn't recognize that. All right, so now I created that. So see, I created the service. Yeah, there it is. Cool. I guess we can start working inside the service. So inside here, the service, we are going to create, we are actually going to create, we're going to create some properties. So this one is going to be, let's go ahead and create property. And this is going to be called data. So, so we're going to need some, it's called, this one is going to call items. And inside there, we are going to do one for expenses, just like in the application. And this one, I'm going to call it as budget. That's budget item. And this is going to be an array. And then we're going to create one for income. And this is going to be as budget, budget item. And then we're going to need one for totals. Totals. And this one, let's set it up between, uh-oh, messed up there. So this one is going to be, let's go ahead and declare, let's make the expenses equal to, let's make it start up as 0. And there's going to be one for the income. And it's going to be set up as 0. And let's do one for the budget. And this one is going to be 0. And then the next one is going to be percentage. Percentage. Let me make sure it's percentage like that. And this one, let's do -1. Okay. Forgot to put the comma there. Okay, like that. All right, so this is going to be private. So now we have to, let me see what is that, budget item. So we also got to create a model. I almost forgot about that so that we can get this one. So let's go ahead and create a folder. And inside this, inside there, let's create a folder. And this one is going to be models like that. And that you can create one. It's going to be called budget items. All right, so this one is going to be called budget items. Let's use the command to, you can actually use this also too, instead of the terminal. So I am going to create an interface, and this one is going to be called budget item. And actually, the Angular CLI is pretty fast. Let me see, already created. All right, so inside here, we're going to have one, we're going to have to have a property for ID. That's what I like about it, TypeScript. So description, and this is description is going to be a string, and messed up here. And then we're going to need one for, one is for the value. I don't know if you remember in the application. We're going to need one for the value. Let me go back to the application so that way you guys can see what I mean by that. So here we have one for, like the number. You got one for description and one for the value. So that's where it's going to be. All right. So let's go back over here. I know you can't see anything yet. So, okay. So now let's go ahead and import this. So right from the model. So now we got rid of that. So then we got to go back to the service. Inside the service, we are actually going to create some functions there. So one is going to be for, let's create one for to add the items. We're not going to need the constructor at this point. So we're going to do add item. Let's create one with that. And let's do the type. And this is going to be string. Let's going to need one for description. And this is going to be type string. And we're going to need one for value. And this is going to be number. And then we're going to pass budget item there. And inside there, we're actually going to create a variable here. And then this one is going to be called ID. And this is a type number. And this one, now let's go ahead and do a if statement here. And this is, let's grab the data, which is right here. And let's go ahead and grab all the items. And let's pass a type. And let's grab the length. uh, the length like that. If it's greater than 0, what we want to do is let's put the ID equal to this data, all items. Let's put the type, and this one is going to be this data, all items. It's going to be the type. Let's grab the length, and this one is going to be -1. And let's go ahead and grab the ID +1. And else the ID is going to be equal to 0. And it's below here. Let's go ahead and create a constant. And let's go ahead a new item. New item. It's going to be a type budget item. Let's make the ID type ID, and then this one description is going to be description. Let's do value. Now let's return this data, all items, and let's do type. And let's go ahead and push because we want to create a new one. So that we're going to pass new item. And the last thing we want to do is return this. We want to return the new item. Oh, and I notice it's throwing this little error. All right. So to get rid of that, I had to look around and look around. And in order to get rid of that, I had to go here inside this one here, the type. So see where it says strict? I made false. Let me see. Give it a second. Come on, come on, come on. There it is. See it like magically disappeared. All right. It doesn't like it. All right. So then let's create another function for delete. This is the one to add up a new item. So now oh, my bad. So this is the one to add up a new item. Why is this throwing this? It says not all code path returns a value. Okay. So I'm missing something here. Wait a second. So I'm closing this one. Oh, I see what happened. I'm missing the else statement right here. That's what it was. That's what it was. That's what the thing was complaining. Okay, so it's missing the else. So what I did is I'm creating an odd item. I'm passing the type, the description, the value, and then I create a variable, which is a number. And then you want to grab the data from all the items, and then you want to grab the type, which is what type it is. So all items, which is right here. See, all items. So you want to do this data, whatever data you're going to input, all items, which is whatever's inside here. You want to the type, and you want to grab the length. If it's greater than 0, this is what you want to do. You want to create an ID, and the ID is gonna add up like a 1 every single time. So if it's 0, then what you want to do is you want it to create a new item. Okay, so then what I want to do is I want to create another one, which is it's called delete item. And then inside here, we're going to need, in order to delete the item, we're going to need a type string. And we're going to need a number. And this one here we want to do is constant. And you want to pass an index. And this one, let's make it equal to this data. All items. Let's grab the type. And here we want to do is find index. Find the index. And we're going to pass an item. The item, we're going to do item dot equal ID, like that. If it's equal to the ID, you want to go ahead and delete it. So let's do, oh, I was missing the T here. Okay, so then it's going to be if index is not equal to -1, then you want to do is this data, all items. Let's do the type, and you want to splice. What you want to do is you want to splice, you want to grab the index and 1. And that's how you're going to delete it. All right, so then you have, let's do the calculation. So this is the calculation is going to be, let me see, what are we going to do with the calculation? So let's do, this is going to be the calculate. This is when you're going to be calculating the budget. So it's going to be, let's create a function for, it's going to be called calculate. Calculate budget. So here we're going to actually do some more. So what I'm going to do is data, all items. Actually, no, not all items. It's going to be data totals. And we want to grab the income. So this is going to be equal to this. Calculate. Wait, we got to create a property here. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and create it over here. So it's going to be a private. And this is going to be calculate total. And let's do a total. And let's do type string. And what we want to do is return this data, all items. Let's do type. And let's use the reduce. And what we want to do is we want to grab the sum and the item. And here we want to do is we want to pass a function, which is going to be sum. So because we're doing it's in addition. So we're going to do item that the value, comma, 0. Okay, all items that type. Oh, sorry, it's type over here, like that. So you're passing that parameter here so you can use it. Okay, so now that we have that, so let's go ahead and do calculate total. And what we want to do, this one is going to be for the increment or income. And then the other one is going to be for the expenses. So this data dot total dot expenses is equal to this calculate, not budget, calculate total. And this is going to be for expenses. Now let's do another one for this data. We're going to pass the budget. And this is going to be this data totals dot inc. We want to subtract that. So we want to do this data dot totals dot expenses. So what we do is we subtracting the budget here. So we're grabbing the total, which is these two. Okay. All right. So that's that. So then what we want to do now that we have some numbers there, we can subtract. So one is for the incrementation and the other one is expenses. So now we have declared that. So then we can subtract these two. So, okay. So then it's kind of like this, like declaring. So one is going to be, for example, like the plus for, plus for a budget, like, I'm sorry, not budget for, like, let's say your income and let's say your expenses is a minus. So what we're doing is we're subtracting these two. So we're subtracting 1,000 minus 200. That's kind of what we're doing. All right. So then let's declare this here. If this data totals, we want to do the incrementations, which I'm sorry, not the income, it's greater than 0. What we want to do is we want to pass this data percentage equal, then we're going to pass the math dot round, dot round, and let's pass this data that totals total dot expenses. And let's go ahead and subtract, I mean, not subtract, divided this by this total. I'm sorry, this data totals dot increment, that is income. And then you want to multiply that by 100. It's just simple math. And then what we want to do is else this data percentage is equal to -1. All right, so now we have the service. Okay, that's that. And then the last one I want to do is create a function that's going to be called get budget. Get budget. And this one is going to be, I want to do a return. And what we want to do is return one for budget. And it's going to be this data dot budget. And then there's another one that's going to be called total income. And this is going to be called this data totals dot inc, which is the income. And now we're going to do total expenses. Total expenses, and then it's going to be this data totals dot exp, which is expenses. And then let's do the percentage. Wait, did I spell that right? Okay, percentage like that, percentage. And this is going to be this data dot percentage like that. Okay, so that's that's all the functions that we have for the service. And now we're going to be focused working inside the controller. Now we're going to work over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy a HTML so that you guys can have it, make it shorter the video. All right, guys. So we're right here inside the component. So in here, we are going to use the constructor. And then here, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and inject the service. On this one, I'm going to call it budget service from budget budget service like that. So now it's inside. So before that, we are going to declare some properties here. So this one is going to be called income items, and this is going to be type any, and it's equal to an empty array. And here, what we're going to do is we're going to actually do another one for expenses, expensive items, and this is going to be a type any again. And this is going to be type, it's going to be empty array. And let's go here, and it's going to be a budget. And this is going to be type any. And this is going to be input type. And let's do, this one is going to be a income. Let me see, then we're going to have, let me see what the other one is going to be. This is going to be input description. Input description. And this is just going to be empty. Then we have another one for input value. And this is going to be a number. Input value. I'm sorry, it's not equal. Okay, it's a type number. Okay, so now we have all those properties. So then now here we're going to do is we're going to start working with the first one, which is going to be called, this one I'm going to call it on add item. And this is going to be, since we had created a service, the service is like, so we can reuse it and we can inject it, like, for example, to multiple components. So here it's going to be if this input description So here what we're going to do is we're going to check. So then it's going to be input description or in this input value, it's greater than 0. What we want to do is we want to do constant new item, and this is going to be this budget service, and we want to use the odd item. And what we're going to do is we're going to pass this input type, and we're going to also pass this input description, this input value, which is over here we're passing. So then we're going to create another one. It's going to be called if this input type is equal to INC, which is the income. What we want to do is we want to do this income items. We want to push a new item. Just like that. All right. Cool beans. So far, so good. All right, guys. So here, as we have the if, we got to now we got to create the the S. I'm sorry, the else. So then we got to do is we're going to do this expenses items that push. And this is going to be new item again. Okay. Then we want to go ahead and we're going to create these functions too. This one is going to be called update budget. And this is going to be called this clear fields. We're going to create that too. Okay, so we have that. So let's go ahead and create the new function. So this one is going to be called on delete item. So we are going to pass the type, which is going to be the string. And we also going to pass an ID in order to delete it. So this is going to be a type number. Okay, so now here we want to do is this budget service. It's going to be delete item. And we're going to pass 2 parameters, which is going to be the type and then also the ID. So then we're going to do if type, it's going to be equal to income. So we're going to do this income item. It's going to be equal to the income item that filter. We're going to filter that, and then we're going to pass inside here. We're going to pass the item, and it's going to be item. We're going to get the ID, and it's going to be if it's not equal to the ID. Okay, so and then we're going to do is grab the else. So here's going to be this expensive items. It's equal to this expensive items that is again filter. And this is going to be item dot ID. The same function here. Okay, and then we want to do is update. I'm sorry. It's going to be this update budget. So once you delete it, you want to go ahead and update the budget. So so let's go ahead and create this function. So this is going to be called private, and it's going to be called update budget. And inside there, we're going to pass this budget service that calculate budget. And let's do this budget. It's going to be this budget service, and let's do get budget. All right, so now we have that. Let's go ahead and let's call this one function to update the budget after items changes. All right, so that's okay. So then we're gonna need one for to clear to clear the items. So let's do private, and this is gonna be clear fields. This is just to clear the fields on the form. So this is gonna be this input description, and let's make that to empty. And let's do this input value, and it's going to be equal to null. So then we're going to need one more, which is going to be the private. And this is going to be to reset the budget. And here what we're going to do is we want to do this budget. It's equal to, so we're going to reset everything. So it's going to be budget 0, the total income, and reset it back to 0. And then this is going to be the total expenses. And this is going to be, oh, I mean to do that. And then we want to do the percentage. Percentage. We want to do this one -1. Like that. All right. So then now we just need one more. Let's go ahead and let's make some notes over here. So this one's going to be the function for to reset. And this is going to be the function to clear the fields. Function to clear input fields. Like that. And let's do the one for, because we're going to need a function for whenever we hit the enter. So this one's to detect, let's call this one detect the enter. All right, so let's create that one. So let's go ahead and call this one on key press. So here, let's put an event, and this is going to be key. It's going to be keyboard event. So this one, let's do this budget service. Let's put a calculate budget, and let's do, I'm sorry, messed up there. No, that's not what it is. It's supposed to be, because we're looking for the event. So let's put an if statement. So let's do if an event dot key, it's equal to enter, because we want to do the enter. Then you want to go ahead and call the function, which is the odd item, this on odd item. So like that. Okay, cool. So then we have that. Let's see, what are we missing here? Inside the constructor, we have to call the inside the constructor here. We have to call the function here to reset the budget. Reset the budget. And let's also implement here, implement on init. Let's create okay, so here what we want to do is we want to start it up. So we want to do this budget is equal to this budget service. Get budget. That's to initialize. Okay, so now we can focus on the HTML, that's the simple part. Somehow I have an error. Let me see where am I having an error. Oh, right here. Okay, so that's that. So now we can focus on the HTML. So what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to I'm going to share the HTML with you guys so that way you guys can see it. Um, so let me go ahead and do that real fast. All right, guys. So I have copied the HTML here from my GitHub here. Let me show you guys. I have copied everything there. It's actually right here. So you guys are welcome to copy it. So this is pretty much what I'm going to do. Copy it so that makes it quicker, fast. So let me go ahead and hit ng-serve. Let me go back to the main project. So I was over here on the source app service. So I went back to the budget so that we can go ahead and hit ng-serve. So I'm gonna do ng-serve. So let's take a look at the project. It's showing me an error. Let me see why. Oh, I see why, because key press. Let me see why is it throwing an error. Oh, I'm missing the div here. Yeah, like that. Perfect. Okay, so I have so you guys going to be able to see the HTML, but we're gonna go ahead and add up the all the work we did. We're gonna add up over here so that we can add up items and everything. But I would like for you to see the template first. So right now it's building. So let's see. All right, guys. So that's that. This is what it looks like here. Also, too, what I did is let me see what else. So the style CSS also too. I this right here. I'm sharing that with you guys. So all of that is going to be actually in. Let me go back where it is the link so that you guys can see it. Right on the money right here, and yeah. So that's the HTML there. This is the CSS. So you guys can copy that. All right. So I'll share this link at the bottom of the video. All right. So let me go back over here. So now that we have that, oh, also another thing too, that you guys gonna have to go ahead and go into the index, and you guys gonna need a CDN for this one here, the Ajax phone. Awesome, you're gonna need that right there. So let me go back over here. So that's that. So that's that. So now that we have all of that, so let's start adding up this functionality so we can add up items on it. So let's work on that now. The first thing I want to go ahead and do over here where it says currency here, this is the month, but over here, right here where it says currency, I want to do is I want to go ahead and add it. I want to add up here the budget. And we want to do is budget like that, and also the currency. Nope. Let's just copy this right here. Let's copy that over here like that. Currency like that. All right, so then over here where it says income, this is gonna this right here is gonna be for the currency, so that way it shows the total. This is gonna be the income, and here we're gonna do the same thing. We actually gonna do here. We are going to pass. It's gonna be the. This is gonna be the budget dot total income. So this is gonna be the total. So let me see what it looks like so far. So currency, income, yeah, like that percentage. All right, so the next one is going to be, why is this still there? Let me see. What is still there? Got rid of, oh, let's get rid of that. All right, so that's that. Currency expenses. So then we're going to need one for expenses, which is over here. So this is going to be total total expenses. And this one here is going to be the budget. I meant to put it with the little b. Okay, so budget, total expenses, and this is we're going to pass currency again here. Currency, let's get rid of this currency here. And here's the one for the percentage. So we're going to do the same thing here. So this is going to be budget dot percentage. So this is where the percentage is going to live right here. So now let's go where it says select. So here we got to, oh, I almost forgot. We got to go here inside the app module TS. We got to pass the form modules, form modules, form modules like that in order for me to be able to use the NG model. All right, so let's go back over here where it says there. Okay, so here, select option. Oh, okay, here. I'm going to place the, and inside the select, I am going to put the NG model, and it's going to be equal to the input type. And this is going to be input. Okay, and then we're going to have one for the description here. NG model, and this is going to be equal to the input type, input description. And we have one for that description. And then this right here is the key press. So when you press enter, it's gonna activate, and it's gonna go ahead and the enter instead of using the mouse. So you can actually use the enter. So here it's going to be the NG model. Here we want to do input value. And then let's pass an event over here, which is the key press. So here what we want to do is let's pass key press. And let's put on the key press, let's do on key press, and let's pass the event. Let's put the $ in front of it like that. Okay, so now inside the button on it, let's use the click event, and let's pass the function, which is going to be on item. I'm sorry, it's called add item. That's actually coming from over here. See, on add item. Okay, so that's going to go right there. Okay, so click on item. Why is it still? Is that what I call it? Yeah. All right. So that's done. Let me see why it's not working. Okay. So I figured what it was. It was I misspelled that. So it was capitalized. So, okay. So what's the next function? We're going to do the undelete. So let's go below. Let's see. So here we got the, to clear the item. So, here what we're going to do is inside the income, clear fix. Let me see. So inside this div here, so that way we can actually show the item. So we're going to use the ng4 like that. And let's do let item of income items like that. And let's give it a class. So that way it looks nice. So this one, let's give it a class of item, and it's going to be clear fix. And let's pass an ID. So that way looks good. And this is going to be called income. And let's pass the ID, item.id like that. Okay, so inside here, let's pass. Now we did ng4, we can actually pass the item there. it's going to be item dot description. And here, let's do item value, item dot value, and also currency. Okay, so that's that. And now here inside the button for this is going to be the button to delete. So we're going to let's pass the click event. Oh, click event. And let's make this one, make it equal to, what did I call it inside the TS? It's called undelete. Let's copy that so that I don't misspell it. Okay, so that's the delete. And we got to pass a few parameters here. So it's going to be the income and it's going to be the item ID. Like that. Perfect. That's that. And then now we can go down to the expenses here. We're almost finished. So inside here, let's do NG4 here again. So NG4 like that. And we're going to do let item of expensive items like that. And let's give it a class. So that way it looks nice and decent. So this is going to be item. And let's put clear fix. This is just a bootstrap. Okay, so I mean a bootstrap is a CSS that you guys will be able to have it. So expenses. And this is going to be, this is where the ID is going to go. Dot ID. Okay, so that's that. So then we're going to do the same thing for the description here. We're going to pass item dot description like that. And then let's do the same thing for the currency. So this is going to be like item dot value. And then here's going to be item dot percentage like that. And the last thing we're going to do is pass a button here. Actually, we can just copy it here. You see how this one is? You can just copy the click event. And we're going to change instead of saying, so here. So instead of saying income, we're going to call this one expenses. All right. So let's see. Okay, cool. That's that. So that's everything. All right. All right. So cool. So we did add up so the CSS looks really nice. So let's make sure now it works. So let's go ahead and let's add up a paycheck and let's go ahead and give it a value of, let's make it now this time. Let's make it 12,000. See, it's there. Let's go ahead and make sure it deletes. Okay, good. It does. It does work. Oh, I didn't. Let's do paycheck again. Paycheck. And let's do 12,000. Let's hit check. Okay, so yeah. Oh, that was not 12,000. That was 1,200. Okay, let's add up. Let's go ahead and delete this. Let's do paycheck. And let's put down 12,000. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's 12,000. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and let's try the expenses. So let's put down, let me see, food. Let's put the food. And this one is going to be, let's say you spend weekly $500. Okay, so that's that. So it's working. And it did automatically subtract it. So it shows here 12,000 is your income. Expenses is 500. Let's add up another one. Let's add up one for the water. Let's add up the water. Monthly bill is $180. So that's that. See, it's nice. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, that was it, guys. That was the whole video. Feel free to leave, if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the bottom of the video. Uh, if you get stuck or if anything, feel free to DM me. Make sure if you have questions or something, or you want to get a copy of the code, whatever, feel free to send me a DM with your email and I can email you the whole entire code. All right, guys. Well, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you stay tuned. And I'm going to try to do another one shortly. So I'll see you guys in the next video and keep coding and keep coding and if you get stuck of anything or if you're working on a project and need help with something, feel free to message me. All right, guys. See you on the next video. Peace.